In late 2020, Airbus released a proposal for a series of zero-emission aircraft which could set it apart as a leading manufacturer in this arena. The plane maker has since revealed more about its plans, its commitment to hydrogen, and its timetable for development. But what are the concepts it's currently considering, and can they become a reality? Could they change the aviation industry as we know it? In September 2020, Airbus released ambitious plans for 3 new aircraft that could fly with net zero emissions. The company aims to have the first of these aircraft in service by 2035. Airbus Chief Executive Guillaume Faury explained the company's ambition in a statement at the time of the launch. "This is an historic moment for the commercial aviation sector, and we intend to play a leading role in the most important transition this industry has ever seen. The concepts we unveil today offer the world a glimpse of our ambition to drive a bold vision for the future of zero-emission flight. I strongly believe that the use of hydrogen, both in synthetic fuels and as a primary power source for commercial aircraft, has the potential to significantly reduce aviation's climate impact." Alongside aircraft and engine design and technology, Airbus is also embarking on a much wider project to make hydrogen power and zero-emission planes economically viable. The company has proposed 3 aircraft concepts dubbed Zero-E, each based on a hydrogen fuel source. First up, the regional turboprop. The first concept is a smaller regional aircraft with a capacity of 100 passengers and a range of just 1,000 nautical miles. It would operate using modified gas turbine engines. The second, larger concept is for a 120 to 200 passenger aircraft with a range of up to 2,000 nautical miles. This would use a modified turbofan jet engine. Additional hydrogen fuel would be stored at the rear of the fuselage behind the rear bulkhead. The third proposed aircraft is a big step forward. It utilizes a blended wing design to increase the fuselage width, providing more options for hydrogen storage and distribution. It would offer a passenger capacity of around 200, but with a whole new cabin concept. No proposals have been released for the interior, but there is an opportunity for innovative cabins and extra features or dense multiple-aisle seating. All 3 Airbus aircraft will be hydrogen-powered. We've often discussed the future of aviation fuel, with sustainable fuel, electricity, and hydrogen power as the main focus. Sustainable fuel involves blending sustainable products into standard aviation fuel to reduce overall fossil fuel usage. Several airlines are now working with biofuels. Airbus is involved with this, of course, but the Zero-E aircraft will go further and replace the use of fossil fuels entirely. Electric power has potential in aviation, but there is a long way to go for large aircraft. Battery technology and weight in particular is a major limitation. There are several proposals for smaller aircraft, such as a partnership between Rolls-Royce and Norwegian airline Widerøe to develop electric commuter aircraft. Honeywell is also working on larger hybrid electric concepts. For powering aircraft, hydrogen can be used in 2 ways. It can be used as a fuel source for fuel cells. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to produce electricity, with heat and water as the byproducts. This then powers the engine. Alternatively, hydrogen can be used directly as a fuel source in a modified engine. Airbus is looking at both these methods for future power. It'll likely take a hybrid approach, where hydrogen is used both directly as a fuel and via an electric fuel cell. Airbus previously released a proposal for a fuel cell-powered aircraft with podded engines. It hopes to confirm the selection of propulsion methods for development in 2022. Hydrogen use in aviation is currently in its early stages. Boeing flew the first hydrogen-powered aircraft in 2008, and ZeroAvia flew the world's first hydrogen-powered commercial aircraft in 2020, a converted 6-seater Piper aircraft. It now plans to take this further and expand the range to 250 miles. But going back much earlier, gas turbines have been in use with hydrogen in the past on larger aircraft. The US Air Force flew B-57 aircraft with hydrogen fuel in the 1950s, and in the 1980s, Tupolev converted a Tu-155 aircraft to a hydrogen gas turbine. This worked, but at the expense of a fair amount of seating capacity. Tupolev looked at hydrogen for the supersonic Tu-144, but this never happened. The technology has been proven, but there is still a long way to go before it's viable on a large scale. Developing hydrogen technology will be key to the Airbus program. Like other players, the company assumes that hydrogen's price will decrease over time as usage expands. Several industries already use or are studying the use of hydrogen, including automotive, trucking, rail, and shipping. We know a few things so far about how Airbus is approaching this development. Aviation needs to adopt liquid hydrogen as a fuel source rather than as a high-pressure gas. Airbus is working with other industries, in particular trucking and shipping, on the benefit of moving straight to this for less overall investment. Technology is coming not just from aviation but also the space, energy and automotive industries. Airbus has highlighted this multi-industry approach as key to making hydrogen work for aviation. It has already formed a joint venture with German automotive company ElringKlinger. This will look at adapting automotive fuel cells for use in aviation, with results fed back into that industry. But without a global infrastructure, how can hydrogen fuels become mainstream? Adoption of hydrogen fuel by airports has often been cited as one of the major limitations of its use. For airlines to make significant investments, they will want guarantees that aircraft can be used at many airports. And to invest in the fueling infrastructure required, airports will want to know airlines will use it. Airbus is committed to its zero-emission development, not just as a technical exercise to prove it can be done, but as a full plan for use and viability. With this, it's already looking at how aircraft could be rolled out with limited airport availability, but still allowing a large number of flights. In early 2021, Airbus announced a potential plan to make Paris a hydrogen hub. Together with Air France-KLM, Groupe ADP, and the Choose Paris Region Agency, it's seeking proposals from companies for hydrogen storage, transportation, and distribution at Paris airports. It's also interested in wider use in other airport operations. Jean-Brice Dumont, Executive Vice President Engineering at Airbus, explained the importance of this. Airbus is determined to drive a bold vision for the future of sustainable aviation and to lead the transition to zero-emission commercial flight. Hydrogen is one of the most promising technologies that'll help us meet that objective, but we won't be able to do it alone. This revolution will also require our regulatory and infrastructure ecosystems to change worldwide. Airports have a key role to play in enabling that transition, and we hope that this open innovation initiative will foster the development of creative projects and solutions. Airbus shared more details of its anticipated timeframe at a recent CAPA event. Its plan is to have the first aircraft in service by 2035, but this will most likely not include the third blended wing concept aircraft. It has suggested the following indicative schedule for development: September 2020, program launch. 2022, technology readiness level 3, meaning proof of concept and selection of propulsion system. 2024 to 2025, product launch with the selection of final design to move forward. 2035, entry into service of the first aircraft. The move to reduce emissions presents a lot of opportunities and challenges for manufacturers and airlines. Which direction do you think development will head? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Did you know that we publish over 175 stories every single week on simpleflying.com? Be sure to check the link in the description for more great stories just like this.